Hey everyone, I wanted to mention something really quick. Chris and I got very excited talking about the remaining press conferences, and we had roughly a 2 hour conversation. Because of that, I've decided to split this discussion into two separate parts. This is the first part, the second part will follow shortly thereafter within a day. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys later. Welcome back, everybody, to Talk Gaming. I'm the Seventh Sword, and I'm here with Brallus.
Yo!
And we are now going to cover E3 Day 2 and Day 3. Isn't that right?
Yeah. Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Got a lot to cover.
So
strap in.
I managed to catch most of the conferences. The only thing that I did not entirely watch all the way through was the PC Gamer one, and that's because I had other work that I had to do in real life work. But I know that Chris has watched it, Chris has covered it, so he's going to kind of walk me through what that was all about, kind of maybe surprise me a little bit with some of the announcements, and then we'll go over Ubisoft, we'll go over Square Enix, and we'll go over Nintendo, and then that should pretty much wrap up E3 at that point, right?
Yeah, for the most part, except for the extended coverage that comes after the behind closed doors gameplay videos and stuff like that.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, for now, we'll start off with the PC Gamer Show kicked off Monday with a ton of stuff. Like, I was actually pretty surprised because I've watched the PC Gamer shows, the previous E3s, and I always left pretty unimpressed. They usually had a much smaller scale show, and like this one wasn't very flashy. It was just kind of a stage, some red lights, a little projector, projector screen behind. So it wasn't anything flashy, but I think it was one of the better conferences out of all of them because they showed a lot of games and mostly gameplay for everything that they showed. There was a few CG trailers here and there, but for the most part, it was straight gameplay. So I was pretty pumped about that. One of the biggest ones that they started out with was, I think it was like the third game they showed was Bloodlines 2, Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines 2. I'm very excited about that because I loved Bloodlines 1. That's back in like the 2004, 2006 era of like Half-Life, old Source engine, stuff like that. So I think this new one is being developed with a new Source engine, but it looks really cool. They showed some gameplay snippets in between like actual like CG, and it looks really good. It was like platforming in between like a burning building, stuff like that. They said that there's going to be different choices you can make and stuff. So I'm really excited about that game. It's been something I've really wanted for a long time. Did you play the first Masquerades?
Nope, didn't even hear about that game until you just talked about it now.
It's a classic. It's definitely one you should go back. It holds up. And then next, the biggest one that they came out with after that was Chivalry 2. I love Chivalry 1. I love Chivalry 1 because I like the whole go around hack and slash, cut their heads off, and just the absolute warfare, of the whole thing. But I kind of was like, why at this point? Because I have Mordhau, however you say it, Mordecai,
Mordhau is developed by somebody else, right? Not the Chivalry team, or is it the Chivalry?
Yeah, it's developed by a different team.
Yeah, so
but it took the best parts of Chivalry because you gotta give. I mean, you gotta give credit where credit's due. Chivalry 1 is like 2013, I think. It's like an older game.
Right.
So obviously it's outdated and whatnot. So Mordhau came along because Chivalry 2 wasn't anywhere on the map at the time, and they said, okay, cool, let's take the best parts of Chivalry and let's make Mordhau. So they took the best parts of Chivalry, left the lame parts out, and then they have this awesome game that's picked up a lot of steam. There's so many concurrent players right now on it. So I'm kind of like, I'm worried about Chivalry 2, but I think one of the biggest concerns with Chivalry 2 is that I think it's an Epic Games exclusive, if I'm not mistaken. I'll look that up right now.
A lot of games are doing that recently. That's becoming a trend. Games going to the Epic Game Launcher exclusively for a set amount of time, and I don't know why. It's Epic is obviously trying to pull something big in the gaming community, but like more recently, they're trying to just get a lot of people under their umbrella for some reason.
Yeah, so the biggest, I think, I don't know. I mean, that's a topic of discussion for another video, the whole Epic Games debacle. But yeah, so Chivalry 2 is an Epic Games exclusive, which I don't think it's going to do. It's going to do them more of a disservice to their fans and to their buyers more than it is a service, because Epic Games is writing them a big check to have their game come on there exclusively, but at the same time, it's got a lot of people don't like Epic Games for certain reasons, which we can talk about in another video. But I mean, the whole thing was like, if you take a step back, PC Gamer Show at E3 was sponsored by Epic Game Store. So
Okay.
at that
That
point,
makes
I was
sense.
like, oh man, they're going to ruffle some feathers in this conference. And did they ruffle some fucking feathers, right? So we'll get into that in a sec. But Chivalry 2, Epic Games exclusive. Most people are going to write it off because of that. And Mordhaus, I don't think it's going to do as well as it should. But I mean, we'll see. But Midnight Ghost Hunt looked really cool as well. Midnight Ghost Hunt looked like a Ghostbusters without the title. And that's one I know you didn't catch the conference, but because that was kind of my thing. But Midnight Ghost Hunt is something you should look at. It's like a first-person shooter. Looks kind of like a deathmatchy, where you play as one guy plays as a ghost, it looks like, and he's morphing into different like chairs, night statues and stuff in the house, and the other guys are like Ghostbusters trying to catch him. So it looks really cool. It's
so
like what's it called? That monster game. Yeah,
It's like prop hunt where you play as the ghost.
Yeah,
Basically,
prop hunt.
and
So
people are trying to catch you as the ghost, and gotcha.
Yeah, it just looks like a blast, like just really dumb fun with some friends. So that was really cool.
So it sounds like the PC Gamer convention or showcase was a lot of multiplayer games, right? It's like a lot. Were there? So, and the vampire one, is that one single player? Because it was Source Engine a long time ago. Is this one also still single player, or is it going the multiplayer round?
Midnight Ghost Hunt's multiplayer.
Midnight Ghost Hunt. I'm talking about the Vampire Masquerade.
Oh, this one's single player.
That one's single
it's a single player game.
So how many? So if you had to like separate it out, how many single player games and then how many multiplayer games? Like a percentage, do you think?
It's about 50-50, I think.
A 50-50?
Maybe leaning more towards single player than anything, because you had Mutant Year Zero, which I guess is multiplayer, but it's a game that you can play single player. It really depends on how you look at it. Like, are you looking at it it depends if you're looking at it in terms of, are there multiplayer only games versus single player only, or games that have single player but also offer multiplayer. Like, there's a mixed bag of everything, which is really cool.
I'm looking at like the actual the main intention of the game. Is it intended for multiplayer, or is it intended for single player?
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. I mean, for something like Mutant Year Zero or Midnight Ghost Hunt, I would say that you can play them single player, but they prefer they play better multiplayer.
Gotcha.
I played the first Mutant Year Zero. I thought it was excellent. I played it all single player all the way through. I think it would have been more fun co-op, but it was still a good time because, I mean, you control. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. I don't know if it is co-op. No, it is. I'm sorry. I'm losing my mind. I'm thinking of a different game, but yeah. So I mean, it would have been fun co-op, definitely. But I mean, at the same time, there's a lot of different offerings at the show. There's a Zombie Army game. I don't know if you played Zombie Army. I have that on Steam. It's Sniper Elite, the Sniper Elite series, like 1, 2, 3, 4. They came out with this like an expansion, like with zombies. So they made a whole game out of it. It was Zombie Army, which was the first one, and it had like all the Zombie Army expansions, everything, and like its own standalone thing. And then they have the next one. It just kind of looked whatever. It didn't blow me away. It was just kind of like, oh, another zombie game, another horror type game.
I'm surprised that zombie games are still coming out as rapidly as they are.
As frequently?
Yeah.
I was expecting a Left 4 Dead announcement, but I didn't see one. So, but then again, it was also an Epic Game Store, like.
Yeah, if it was hosted or covered,
Epic Game Store was on everything.
By Epic Games, and they're obviously Epic Games is going to have a big say on what is and isn't in the showcase.
Yeah, what looked really cool as well as Planet Zoo. So I like the Roller Coaster Tycoon games, or like the Sims.
I played Zoo Tycoon back in the day, Roller Coaster Tycoon as well. I like Zoo Tycoon better than Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Yeah, so Planet Zoo is very similar. It's like one of those top-down theme park managers where you manage like a zoo and stuff like that. The graphics look really good. It looks like it plays really cool, so I'm excited for that. But right after Planet Zoo is they showed Shenmue 3. So they showed more on it. Shenmue 3. So I played that on Dreamcast a long time ago. I don't even remember it, honestly. It was so long ago, but Shenmue 2 I played. I didn't play the first one, but so Shenmue 3 came in, and they showed some stuff on it. They brought the director of it out, the creator, and he was talking about it. But the bombshell that they dropped, the absolute bombshell, and I knew it was coming after announcing Chivalry 2 being an Epic Games Store exclusive, they announced that Shenmue 3 was an Epic Games Store exclusive. And that set people off the rails because
that's a crowdfunded game, right?
It's a Kickstarter game. It's a Kickstarter game. It had 66,000 backers and it raised over 233. I think it was 200. Let me look. It was over $6,333,295. It was pledged out of a $2 million goal. So it smoked its goal. There's 69,320 backers. But the problem with that is that a lot of people don't want to use Epic Games Store for their own personal reasons. You know, personally, I think it's an inferior launcher. I think it's very anti-consumer. But again, that's neither here nor there. It's a different day.
Right, and you're
But
forcing people onto a specific platform to play a game that was crowdfunded. So you should, because it's crowdfunded, it should be available on Steam. It can be available on Epic, sure, but it should also be made available on Steam just because of that promise to the people who funded you.
Right. It was another case of Epic Games snaking an IP away, and I feel like that's a shitty thing to do to your the gamers in general, the gaming community, is take a game that they were promised would be on Steam, because Shenmue 3 on his pledge page had a promise that it was going to be on Steam. They had Steam all over it. So people who pledged were like, cool, I'm getting this game on Steam, let's do it. And now they pulled it from Steam, and they're only offering it on Epic Games. But unlike Metro, where they said, okay, well, anybody who pledged or pre-orders the game is going to still get it on Steam. But other than that, if you didn't pre-order, you got to go to Epic Games. And they offered refunds to people for Phoenix Point, which is another game they did this with. But for Shenmue, they're saying even if you pledged for it, when they said it was going to be on Steam, they're not offering refunds, and they're not going to offer it on Steam.
Wow.
So I
saw the gameplay for Shenmue 3, but I didn't know this because I actually watched the trailer really quick. So that makes it sound like Epic gave them a lot more than they raised through crowdfunding. So
and it's a very bad situation, because that many people raising $6,333, $1,000, blah blah blah, whatever. 69,000 people that backed the game, that helped you start. That wouldn't have even been an idea without the backers, right?
Yeah.
So the fact that you're gonna pull away and be like, fuck off, right? To like go, bye, see you later, have a good time. To go to Epic Game Store, people are pissed, and they're not even offering refunds. They're just like, tough.
Well, because if they offer refunds, then they'll be at a deficit, and that's they're not going to do that now.
People are it puts Kickstarter in a very tough spot, because they were even advertising Shenmue 3 on Steam just a week prior to that. Like, they had it up, they had a Steam page for it. They're still updating the Steam page with new information, new videos.
Weird. Then why the change? Because the game is coming out this year, so I don't understand. I don't understand the logistics behind this move, because it sounds like the game is mostly done based off of the crowdfunding money they got then, right? What
it was is Epic Games wrote a big check. That's all it was. They wrote a bigger check than what the backers were provided, and they offered exclusivity, and they bit. I mean, can you blame them at the same? I mean, at the same time, it's like, can you blame them? But
because they don't they're what's the word? They don't have integrity then, because if anything, Shenmue 4 can be on Epic Games. That's fine. But this one, the one that was raised by your fans, the people that made it possible, you should have stuck to that promise. And they did in like a pseudo way, because if you pre-ordered it, you still get it on Steam. But that's so, oh wow.
Yeah, I know. It was just shady underdealings that really struck people the wrong way. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them for being pissed.
I saw the gameplay,
refunds.
And I wasn't particularly impressed with it.
Oh no!
I didn't play the old ones.
It's a Kickstarter game. Like, you can't. I mean, Carmageddon was a Kickstarter game, and that didn't look anywhere near as good or play anywhere near as good. Like, you can't really expect much from Kickstarters, but at the same time, you're right. It does look like still a Dreamcast game.
It does look like an maybe that's what they're going for, because it was originated on Dreamcast, and it's got the same art style and everything, but it doesn't look that much updated to current gen standards. True. If anything, it could pass as like a PS3 launch title, I would say.
Maybe. Or, and hopefully the gameplay is enough to make up for that. But I don't know. I guess a lot of people won't find out because they're pissed about it. But next we had Valfaris. I think I'm saying that right. Valfaris. They showed, that's a game that it's like a 2D side scroller, and I'm kind of burnt out from those because I've been playing games for 26 years. I've played every side scrolling type game, whether it's a roguelite or permadeath game, whatever. So I'm kind of burnt out from them. But there are certain ones that slide through the cracks that get me pumped, and Valfaris is one of them, because I love metal. I'm into like the heavy death metal type of shit. Screamo. The blood and the gore. I mean, if you saw my previous video about my reactions to Bethesda, you see me, I kind of get a little excited when Wolfenstein and Doom come around. But Valfaris is more of the same. It's like a 2D side-scrolling Doom, basically. Okay. And it's just all about metal and just blowing shit up, and it just looks really cool. And then they finished off with, or they kind of reared towards the end with Borderlands 3. There's more after that, but Borderlands 3 was in there, obviously, because that is an Epic Game Store exclusive.
Right.
How do you feel about Borderlands 3?
So Borderlands 3, I'm gonna get it. I'm excited about it. It's just like, how to word it. One thing that just disappoints me is Claptrap, because I know it's not the same voice actor. So it just already like that just takes it down just a peg a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I know that new voice actor is just copying the old one's style. So it's not gonna come across as genuine. But that's a small thing in comparison to the rest of the game. I like the direction they're going with the multiplayer, that you have your own generated loot at your level, so you can play with your friends that are lower level or higher level. You don't have to worry about, the loot, which is nice.
Yeah. You have a gun that shoots guns.
Yeah.
So I think it looks pretty cool. Like I enjoyed the first Borderlands 1 and 2. I'm a very, very, very big Diablo fan though. Very big Diablo fan. So when I played Borderlands 1 and 2, everyone was saying it was like a first-person Diablo, and so I went into there excited about it. But I mean, it was good. I want to be excited for Borderlands 3. I don't think I'm as excited as everyone else is. Maybe because I'm not a fanboy about it. But I don't know. I mean, hopefully it's good. I'm not really pumped about it though. Honestly, it looks like an expansion pack to 2. To me,
you think it looks
to be honest?
Well, it's got 4.
I think so.
It's got 4 new hunters. I mean, I like the fact that a lot of them you can have multiple ultimates going on at once. It definitely seems like it's taking a lot of from Destiny in terms of those ideas, like having you have multiple powers, but improving on that, letting you use both of them at the on the fly at the same time if you wanted to once they're both ready, and then just kind of cycling it down to just the 4-player co-op basically. Whereas Destiny is now, I think, classifying itself. They finally are saying it. They're an action MMO. They're going full MMO.
Yeah.
But Borderlands is still that kind of local basement experience where you just play with your tight-knit group of friends, and I think they're gonna nail it in terms of that, because that's what they're good at, and they've had a lot of time.
Yeah, but I want to switch gears because after that was Maneater. Maneater looks sweet. So you got to put some gameplay when we talk about this on the screen. But Maneater was Shark PG. So it was a Shark PG, Shark Simulator.
Shark, okay.
You play as a shark and you run around and you terrorize shit and you eat shit, then you throw shit around, and then you rank up depending on how much shit you eat. And it looks so good. Like, that's my type of game.
Is it a game that you're gonna play?
Yes, I'm gonna play Shark Eater.
No, I know you're gonna play it, but are you gonna play it for a day or a week, and once the novelty of being a shark wears off, you're done? Or do you think you're gonna come back to it? It depends on how much depth there is. A year from now or 2 years from now, or something.
Do you hear my joke, Rich? Do you hear my joke? No. I said it depends how much depth there is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, it really depends. They showed a little bit of the game. They talked about how it worked. I gotta play it for myself first to see how it actually controls. Because I mean, playing as a shark. How many times have you played as a fish in a game where you have to move really fast and everything works amazing? Like the game depth was actually pretty good, and they did it
Echo
correctly.
the Dolphin.
So, shut up. Anyway, so moving forward,
that game is awesome.
They showed some Warframe stuff, Rich. They announced a new character,
stuff.
Empyrean, I think is his name. He said they announced Empyrean. They showed there's some stuff coming up with Warframe. I know you love Warframe.
I go back to Warframe now. I watch their dev streams like a lot of the time. I'm waiting to get hardcore back into Warframe until all of the new melee changes they're going to implement are fully done, because I don't want to play it and then be like, okay, I like this, get used to it again, and then everything changes a month from now and all that stuff. I just want to go in there because I played a little bit of Melee Phase 2, I think, or Phase 1 or whatever. Phase 2 is next of Melee 3.0. They're rolling this thing out in phases, and I don't blame them because they have a lot to change. But the way that they're going to be changing Warframe, I like the way it sounds, but I just want to see it all in action. And
you remember when PS4 first came out and there was nothing out yet? There was Battlefield 4. We were worn out because I know you didn't really care about Battlefield 4. That was more of like my type game. Bob enjoyed it. Bob enjoyed it. That was my thing. They didn't really had Killzone and that kind of
Shadowfall.
Yeah, but they didn't have much to show. So all we did to get our fill of PS4 was we played Warframe.
For like
we
2
played
months,
80,
right?
100 hours, something like that.
Which is like.
Yeah, which is nothing now, but if you play that game on PS4, 80 to 100 hours feels like 600 hours.
Yeah.
But we played so much Warframe.
I was Necros. It was crazy. I got Necros. I got my skinny jeans on.
Yeah, I was Rhino. Was it Rhino? Is that his name?
Rhino. But man, ever since I switched to PC though, I've put way more time into that game. And I've perfected 2 Warframes. But then one of them they changed Ash. I don't like the changes, so I kind of just lost him. But Excalibur Umbras is my frame now, and I love that frame. It's so good.
You know what's funny too is if I can get like a fan like just blowing right here, it would show both of our hairs going the same direction. We're like, yeah, but and then they ended off with Baldur's Gate 3.
Baldur's Gate 3, no gameplay. That one I saw.
No gameplay.
I saw a cinematic trailer. It was Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, Baldur's Gate 3. Okay, cool. Come back later.
Yeah.
Which is how most of E3 felt,
right?
but
isn't it? Like...
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but anyway, so that was that. They had a lot of other good games on there too. But those are the most noticeable ones that I found. And then Ubisoft was next. So what do you think of Ubisoft's conference? Ubi or Ubisoft? Yeah, Ubi.
Yeah.
Ubisoft.
UB3, Ubisoft. Yeah, so
Poopysoft.
So okay, when they showed Watch Dogs Legion, because that's what they started off with, right?
Okay, all right.
At first I was actually, again, the Watch Dogs excitement. I was like, oh, okay, I'm more worried because the first Watch Dogs,
Right.
But I was getting excited for it, and it looks good. It looks like it's gonna be a fun time. But they came up with this whole thing about you can play as anyone in the city. Every single, character has a life and a story, and you can recruit them. And I'm like, whoa. I was thinking, how does this work? And then I saw the gameplay and everything, and I was like, oh, okay. I figured it out really quickly. There's basically 10 people that they've copied, X amount of times, and you can play as those archetypes, and anyone who fits in that archetype, basically. So it's not really a whole city of unique individuals.
So you think it's a gimmick?
I think so. There's more diversity in terms of the gameplay. They had the old lady, they had the military experienced person, they had just a regular person who's getting into it for the first time. But I don't really think there's gonna be legitimately millions of different people, different play styles. I think there's gonna be a set number, and then they just change the character model, but it's gonna be the same voice actors.
I'll always be scarred by when they burned us about Watch Dogs and Division. When they showed the gameplay, when they announced Watch Dogs, and it was completely different. And then the same thing with Division. They showed Division gameplay, but then it just looked pulled back from what they showed. So I'm still a little bit burned by Ubisoft. So I know that they're going to show the graphics and everything how it's supposed to look. But some of the gameplay stuff that they're showing, I was like, how are they, because remember when the guy, I forgot his name, Ethan or Alan or whatever his name was, he dies, the first guy that they're playing as, then it switches to the old lady, I think it was, or was the girl? It was the old lady, right?
It switched to the old lady, yeah.
Switch to the old lady, and then they're like, oh, this Alan died, blah, 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 and then the old lady was chiming in, I'll have to pick up the pieces after him, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, are they going to do that with every character? How is that going to work?
Every time you die, when it's
I feel like that's a
person, is it going to be it's not Georgie, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna have like you said it the other day. What was that game? Zombie U. It's gonna have a Zombie U vibe.
Yeah, and it reminded me a lot of Zombie U, where you died and you picked up a new person. They took that mechanic and put it in Watch Dogs, basically.
Then you can find your gear, stuff like that. I think it'll be like that, which is cool. But I don't think it's gonna be like they showed, where it's seamless and they all communicate with each other. Prove me wrong, Ubisoft. That's what I want. Prove me wrong, Ubisoft.
I don't think it's possible. But I don't think so, because if they'd have to have maybe it's possible that they did that amount of work, but the amount of work that would require is obscene. Because if they named every single person in the city, and you can literally take over at some point any NPC that lives in the city that's just a regular citizen that's recruitable, and let's just say there's even a pool of there's a pool of 100,000. Okay, I'm gonna go small for a city. There's 100,000 people that they created that you can take over, and they all have their unique names and stuff. If you die as Jason, I do not see the person over that monitor saying, oh, Jason just died, and then the new voice actor saying, oh man, but I liked Jason or something. I don't see that happening for every single recruitable person. I see that happening. That's what I'm saying. I see that happening in story moments, for when you take over a person that's in the story and you die as them, and they're kind of integral to the story. But a random person you recruit, that's not going to happen. They might just say the operative just perished. Oh no, that's sad. They might do that, like generic dialogue, but not in-depth, detailed dialogue.
So so there's that. But
and the reason why
I want it to be good. It looks good. It looks like it's one of the games that I'm actually excited to play, because I love Watch Dogs series.
Right.
Even the second one, and I actually want to do a second playthrough of that. But I'm excited for it, but I'm going in with low expectations as far as that goes.
And the reason why I'm harping on it so much, though, I think it looks good, but the reason why I'm harping on it is because they came out on stage making it seem that way. So I'm gonna call them out on it, because they're saying take over anybody. It's like, okay, you're not like you're kind of playing it up too much. It's not that's not what it's really gonna be. It's gonna be 10 or 20 different characters and different models, but the same actors and the same play style for those 10 or 20 types. Even if
I'm excited.
It is 10 or 20 types.
I am excited for a London game though, because I'm getting really tired and burnt out of playing New York, Chicago, LA again.
Well, we haven't really played that much in Chicago.
But yeah, Watch Dogs 1.
But I'm saying, in terms
the last game I actually played that was in London was it wasn't GTA London. Creed. It was no. Well, I guess that's like old London. I'm talking about New London. Like, what was that game? It was a PS2 game, and it was like GTA. I'm gonna have to look this up now. So bear with me. But I mean, yeah, it looks pretty cool. I'm excited to play in London again because it's a city that I've actually personally been there a few times. But cool. It's a city that I'm like excited to explore again, even though it's like post-futuristic. Whatever.
And it's I like the narrative it's going for because they're using Brexit as like a a springboard, and that's a very smart idea. It ties into that because Brexit's kind of a whole debacle anyway. So it makes sense to use that as their plot. And it is exciting to go to a new locale that's not in New York, like you were saying. You know,
the Getaway. I think it was the Getaway.
The Getaway
was the game that I really liked. Yeah, the Getaway, series. And then the Getaway 2. Yeah, that was PS2. Yeah, that's it right there. PS2. Yep. So the Getaway was really cool. It was like a GTA in London, and it was actually really good. It was underrated though. But
GTA in London.
GTA in London. So yeah, and the Cockney accents were funny too, because it's like not everyone in London talks like that, but that's what they had for every character. So I thought that was pretty funny. Yeah, but so Watch Dogs 2 looked pretty sweet. I'm excited about it. Three.
Legion.
Watch Dogs 3 looks really excited, so I'm pumped for that. Gameplay looks pretty awesome. I like when you're playing as a girl too, and she's like going through to rescue that guy that was strapped in the chair.
Yeah, there was a lot of dynamic gameplay. Yeah, like with knocking people down and shooting them on the ground, stuff like that.
I like that each character that you can take over has their own unique specialty. Like the one guy, Ian, the first guy, he's good at taking out drones, so he's more effective versus drones and stuff like that. So I'm wondering if you can maybe get them to gang together. You know what I mean? Like as in like if you play as Ian and he's good with drones, he can meet up with Alicia or whatever, and then she's really good at shooting like the girl in the video, and maybe you can have them go and roam in a pack, or if there's any multiplayer like that.
Yeah, if there's multiplayer, you could have someone play as the old lady as a distraction, then you have that guy go in and take out all the drones, then you have the other person go and take out all the guards. That'd be great as a multiplayer thing. Like I'll go to that'd be awesome. Distract them as an old lady.
I'm interested to see more. So I'm interested to see more Watch Dogs because I really liked the first two, especially the second one. I thought that was real well done. I'm glad that they're kind of going in a more serious tone with it though, because it is taking a more of a. It's got political undertones to it as far as Brexit. But the last Watch Dogs was all about anonymous and that kind of stuff. Watch Dogs 2, but it was kind of just really millennial, campy, brofist, like that kind of game.
Yeah.
So like compared to the first one, which was gritty, is a story about revenge. So I'm excited for this one. I think it's gonna be a good hybrid between the two. But so after Watch Dogs, they talked about the guy from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh yeah, he's got his own show coming out with about being a game creative lead, right?
Yeah.
Mythic Quest? Was that what it was? Mystic?
Yeah. Mythic Quest.
Mythic Quest. I was actually I was thinking like, since they're making a show, all of a sudden there's going to be a game too. I thought Mythic Quest was going to also be a game that they released.
I thought it was too. I was like, maybe they'll like release like a little demo or something.
Yeah. But it seems like it seems pretty funny.
It could be fun. It could be a fun show to watch. But we'll see. But so after that they talked about Brawlhalla. I don't know. Do you ever watch what's that? The dog and the dude.
Oh, Jake, right? Adventure Time.
Adventure Time. Yeah, I don't ever watch Adventure Time.
I've never really watched Adventure Time. But their characters coming to Brawlhalla. I saw that. I don't play Brawlhalla that either. I mean, I've played that's kind of that game kind of falls into the Smash clone category, and I've tried a bunch of them, but I just ended up going back to Smash.
Yep.
That's the one that I like the most.
You can't take down Smash.
Nope.
But so and then they brought John Bernthal out, the Punisher himself.
Oh yeah, to talk about Ghost Recon.
The new Ghost Recon, yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool.
I thought it was gonna be a Punisher game.
I was excited. I would have hoped that'd be awesome because I remember the last Punisher game was awesome for Xbox. But Yeah, so he talked about more about Ghost Recon, not Wildlands. I keep calling it Wildlands. Breakpoint. So I mean,
He's the
Wildlands.
villain,
I was
right in Breakpoint.
Yeah.
He's the guy you're gonna be. See, that's sad because I wanted to be fighting on his side.
Well, you never know. Maybe he comes around, Rich. You never know.
We're killing him.
Yeah, he brought his little dog out too, and apparently the dog was a last minute decision, and it was John Berthal's idea. I guess I don't know if it was his dog or not, but he went to them at E3 and Ubisoft, and he's like, "Hey, I want to bring a dog out," and they're like, "Okay, you know." Yeah. So he brought a dog out, and I guess it was a last minute decision. I don't think it was as epic as Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves, nobody expected that to come out. Plus, it was Cyberpunk 2077, so it was just everyone was already losing their shit. And then the Keanu comes out after they reveal him in the game, and everyone, I was just like, oh, they stole the show with that.
Yeah, Keanu Reeves is still, I think, the best E3 moment for me personally. Yeah, the entire conference, other than maybe
I think if they showed some gameplay,
you know. Yeah, I mean, in terms of like a wow factor of somebody coming on stage, in terms of game announced, we could talk about that later, but. Keanu Reeves is definitely one of the coolest moments. It's gonna stick out from this year.
Yeah, I was hoping that they would do what I was really disappointed as far as overall E3 was, you know, when Microsoft went, when you know Ubisoft and Square Enix went and all, they didn't actually do any like live playthroughs. Do you notice that? Like they usually do at E3. Like when they did Division 1, you know, a few years ago, they showed like people actually playing it. I mean, playing it.
Yeah, but you know why?
But
you know why
I wanted people to come out on stage and play a mission through Breakpoint. You know what I mean?
But you know why they don't do that anymore, right? Because of the all right, he's on your left. Oh man, good shot.
Oh, you're right. Great shot.
Oh, dude, you got that scope you wanted. Cool.
Like, cool.
That's why.
Oh man. I can't wait till this game comes out. Yeah,
yeah, and then they tried doing it with streamers too, like, and that doesn't work. So
it's just a shill fest. Yeah. But no, I wish they showed some kind of gameplay or something like that. Like I missed the old E3 days when they would bring people out to it was more of a spectacle, like a show. Oops, I keep knocking this. It was more of a like a spectacle. You know what I mean? Right. Like when people would come out. They would show, you know, live gameplay footage. You see this?
That's funny. You're trying to. Like,
I'm getting too excited.
You gotta tighten it, man.
I'm too animated. So it was more of a spectacle.
It's,
you know, E3 back in the day.
The bottom.
I think so.
You got
no, not the bottom. It's this little arm thing. I can't figure it out. Anyway, we'll just move that over there. So yeah, I don't plan on going all day, but. So yeah, they talked about they showed that, which is all right, and then they showed like the mobile game that was like a mix of like Ubisoft or like they had Splinter Cell, Sam Fisher in there, and then they had Rainbow Six characters.
I didn't care
and,
for that.
Ghost Recon characters. It was another mobile type game, so I was like, whatever. I already it immediately written off, and I try not to write off mobile games because I'd like them to make decent ones, but with how predatory they are, I just
it's
don't
tough.
care.
It's really tough
and then,
to give it any sort of seriousness.
The game we've all been waiting for, the game you've been waiting for, was announced. The next Just Dance, Rich.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Just Dance.
I like the only time I've played a dance game was at the arcade with like the dance pad.
Yeah.
I don't even think it was Just Dance. It was some sort of arcade version of it, but whatever. But no, I don't. Yeah, I don't care about Just Dance. I'm surprised.
I think the last Just Dance game I played was on Kinect.
I mean, I know that they announced this before, but I was hoping they were announcing it before to like. Make it seem like they weren't going to show anything on Beyond Good and Evil 2, and they're like, oh, no Beyond Good and Evil 2, but Beyond Good and Evil 2 tomorrow or something.
Yeah. They didn't show anything. They just completely ignored it. So I was kind of bummed about that. But and I was surprised when over halfway through the conference, I think, that they didn't have any Just Dance, because usually every year they have Just Dance come out, the dancers, and they have some big show and stuff like that. But then they came out for this Just Dance, and I was like, there it is. So but anyway, moving on from Just Dance. It's not my type of thing. I'm pretty sure it's not your type of thing, right?
I mean,
what they didn't show that I was wondering why they didn't show is that that ship game, the ship combat game. You remember?
Oh, the Assassin's Creed
Skull and
ship
Bones.
mode, but
Skull and Bones.
Skull and Bones.
Yeah, they didn't show any Skull and Bones. Skull and Bones.
Because we've seen
what happened with that?
Haven't we seen it for 2 years in a row now? Wasn't that announced in 2017 when we went to E3?
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
Why. I mean,
it's been quiet.
Very
quiet lately.
Yeah, if anything, though, Skull and Bones should just be an announcement before or after their press conference, not during. It makes sense because it's not new anymore, and it's been a while, so it should really have a spot there.
Yep. So that was kind of weird. And then they had For Honor. They had the expansion pack for For Honor.
Right.
The downloadable content, the add-ons, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. I don't.
I think you and I kind of left that game a while ago. I think we played more of the beta than we did the actual game when it came out.
We did.
You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
We played so much of that beta, like 20-something hours of that beta. And then the game came out, and it was... I
played a good chunk of the main game when it came out, but I haven't played any of the expansions and stuff. And the reason why I stopped was just because it turned into grab, throw, off bridge, grab, throw. I mean, I don't know. I have to look into what's changed, but I was hoping they would implement, like, if someone tries to throw you off a cliff, you have a specific moment of time to grab the ledge and come back up or something like that. I don't know if that's been implemented. I don't think it has. I could be wrong. Correct me in the comments, but I don't think it has. And I don't know, For Honor it was fun. I'm happy that kind of game has lasted as long as it has, because
I'm surprised it has, honestly. Like, I didn't think it would last super duper long. And you know what's funny too is that Ubisoft hasn't been like pushing live service like EA and Activision have, and their games are holding up more successfully than EA and Activision's games. You think about it,
they just keep doing successful content drips and just saying, hey, this is new, buy it or don't. You know,
I think it's because when they put the game out initially, it's a pretty much fully finished game.
Yeah.
So people will have a lot of content to get into before they start releasing the next batch of live service stuff.
Right.
So I don't know.
With this new update, I might even get back into it. You know.
Yeah, and Rainbow Six Quarantine.
Oh,
so I love Rainbow Six. Yeah, I love Rainbow Six, and they showed I don't know if it was called Quarantine, I don't remember, but they had the add-on or like the event for like 3 weeks for Rainbow Six, where it was just like Quarantine. It was like it was like Left 4 Dead. You're getting from one position to another with your squad, and there's a bunch of zombies infected running around, and it was really cool because it had the destruction of Rainbow Six with zombies. So it was just absolute chaos, and as you're trying to get through hallways and buildings, shit was just blown up everywhere. There's holes in the walls and them bursting out of the walls. So I thought that was really cool. And so Quarantine I'm really excited for. They didn't show any gameplay, unfortunately.
Yeah,
but
cinematic trailer.
I mean, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if it's a full-fledged sequel or if it's going to be like a Far Cry New Dawn type spin-off for $30-$40. But I'm excited for it. I hope it's more in depth of what I got for those 3 weeks when I played it.
My impression of what that game is going to be is it's going to be exactly kind of like how the other Rainbow Six game is. It's where it's PvP, where you break into people's houses or whatever, and one person defends and one team defends, one team attacks. I think it's going to be you just play as the defensive team and the zombies are coming in, and you have to just hold out and then hold out until evac comes, or maybe, and I don't think they're going to go this way, but it'd be interesting, is if one team plays as the zombies.
Well, there you go, Rich.
But I don't know. Like, I don't know if they would do that or not. It seems like they were showing it from the perspective of the person, like freaking out. So I don't think so. But you never know.
That's what I want to know. I want to know if it's a full-fledged PvE or PvP or both experience.
I mean, Rainbow Six also used to have story campaigns. It'd be cool to see a story campaign back.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get that with
Probably not.
Maybe this one. I don't know if it's like I said. I don't know if it's Rainbow Six Siege Quarantine or just Rainbow Six Quarantine, a full-fledged sequel. So I don't know. I mean, their multiplayer is obviously paying off. Rainbow Six has been so active,
and they're For Honor everything, so they're going to be targeting that definitely.
Yeah. So I don't know. Hopefully, single player is not dead, guys. Pay attention, Ubisoft. We want a good single player Rainbow Six. Dude, I loved Rainbow Six back in the day. When you plan your missions out accordingly, like you'd actually have to map. Blue team goes like up here and then to the left and then breaches this door and it enters. And then once you start the mission, you got blue team going over here, green team going forward, orange team this way, and then you and your squad going another way, and then everyone breaches at the same time. Yeah, I thought that was really cool, like a hardcore experience. But yeah, they showed some Division 2 stuff. They showed some add-ons coming out, or a second raid coming out. I still haven't done the first raid. I haven't played Division 2 in a while because I don't have 8 friends I can get online all at the same time to do the raid, so I haven't done it yet.
Here's my question. I played Division 1. I have not purchased Division 2 yet. I want to, but now I feel like it might be too late. There's no matchmaking for the raid?
Nope.
So you have to know 7 other people.
Yeah, basically what they said was, you got to know 7 other people, and they all got to be online, which nowadays it's hard to get that many people online at the same time.
Does that mean that their raids are kind of like Destiny's in terms of they actually require a lot of talking and planning and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Where there's puzzles you solve and things like that?
Yeah, it took a while for somebody to actually beat it, and there was like an article published that's saying that somebody finally beat the Division 2's raid, because not only is it just hard, but getting that many people together to play it, because there's no matchmaking. You have to. Yeah. It's like the old days. You got to go on the forums and type in like who wants to play this time. this blah blah blah. This is what we're doing.
Be built into
those meetups,
the game.
But
there should be a mechanic that lets you find people that are wanting to do the raid, and you can connect, and you can go like they should have a raid lobby where you go in there and you still run around in like the city and stuff, but people are coming into this raid lobby and you can meet and form teams there and talk to them in like these social hubs.
Yeah, so I thought they would announce matchmaking for episode 3, for Division episode 3 with the second raid, but they talked about everything else, and then I was waiting for them to be like, yo, and also we're including matchmaking, but they didn't. So I was like, all right, well, looks like I'm gonna pass on that one too until I can get. Hey, if any of you guys want to play, PC, well, I got it on PC. Let's do it.
We'll have a
Talk gaming.
We want to build a community. We can have raid groups.
If anybody's down to raid, I need a raid group. I got a handful of people that I know will get on at the call when the call comes. But
question about Division 2, Chris. So if I buy it, will you go through it with me?
Yeah, I'll go through it with you.
Okay. I guess my question is, does it work like Division 1 where you can't be your character, you'd have to start a new one like I did with you? Or can you use your old character and change the levels of the enemies and stuff?
They scale the difficulty of the enemies, but the thing is I'm like gear level 250 something, so I'm like the highest you could be before tier 4 or 5 came out world. So the thing is that I can join your game as my character, but I'm gonna be it's gonna be like the people that I'm shooting. Like if you're shooting at person A and I'm shooting at person A is gonna do this. It's gonna be hard for me to kill as hard as it is for you to kill him at your level. So it scales in that aspect. But I'm also gonna be one-shotting lower level enemies that are in your world. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because I'm like tier 4. Okay. So
I don't care.
I'd probably have to start a new character.
No, I don't really care. Honestly, if you do that, then I can catch up. And because the end game stuff is what Division 2 is mostly about.
I mean, the game doesn't really kick off until you get to the end game stuff. That's when it gets really interesting.
Maybe we'll do Co-op Chronicles Division 2. Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you haven't seen our first Co-op Chronicles video, go check it out. It's about Far Cry. Yeah. That got out of hand. Yeah, that was just absolute chaos. Exactly. But we'll do another Co-op Chronicles on that. And then Ubisoft streaming service, Rich, who says you got to buy it when you can just subscribe. Subscribe today.
That gave me a good idea. Talk Gaming Plus. Stay tuned.
Talk Gaming Plus? Oh, Talk Gaming Plus. The more you subscribe, the more you pay us, the more we talk.
Yeah, the more we talk. We'll keep talking. We'll not stop.
Yeah. No, we'll have 6-hour-long videos. The more people keep donating, we'll just keep talking and talking and talking.
Until it turns
we'll talk in circles.
Hours a day, and we don't eat or sleep, and then we eventually just pass out from exhaustion.
We'll talk up, down, left, right. Yeah, we'll talk.
We'll talk at you. We'll talk with you. We'll talk about you.
Talk with you. Yeah, we'll talk about everyone around you. Yeah. So Ubisoft streaming service is what, $15 a month, something like that.
That's where I tuned out. I just was like,
I was like, dude,
this was me. Services? I was like, pretty much. I don't like. I've had bad experiences with Uplay. Every time I try to log in, I can't. It's like I don't understand. Like it's just
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they have a big enough catalog for that, honestly. I mean, at least for me, because I played almost all their games at launch that come out that aren't just a buggy mess. But I'm pretty much caught up, so it doesn't do anything for me. Plus, it's just another subscription service, and I don't think they crank out enough games to warrant a subscription service like that. You subscribe to Netflix, and you have tons of content. Content for days, and they update it. So every 3 to 6 months, they update it with new stuff. So it's like you got plenty of stuff. So I don't think this is the best take for them.
And it's cheaper, and you have more content. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense that Netflix has more content because they just gather all the shows together, and that's why Steam is good. Because Steam is the Netflix of games, and Steam doesn't even have a subscription service, does it? No, they just have summer sales where you can buy games for ridiculously cheap, and then you own them.
They had Roller Champions come after that, which looked all right. I guess I'll play the
Rocket League on skates.
Yeah, Rocket League on skates.
Basically,
it could be fun. The demo came out on June 10th. The conference day, so it's on Uplay. If anybody wants to play it, Roller Champions on Uplay. No opinion. It looked entertaining, I guess, but it doesn't look like something that you'll dive into long term. Doesn't look like there's a ton of progression.
It could. I mean, if they could make it their own Rocket League, it's possible. But I mean, it's not my cup of tea game because I'm not a sports game fan, and I don't even play that much Rocket League. I played it when it came out, but I really haven't played it since then. None of the new seasons or anything like that. Bob is an avid Rocket League player. He might get in on this game. But
I've been playing a lot of Rocket League because of the little 80s expansion.
Oh, the 80s.
I like my 80s, Rich. Yeah.
You like your 80s.
So then Ubisoft ended with the Gods and Monsters trailer. Did you see that?
I did, and it was no gameplay, right? It was
mini
just
Zelda. It was
trailer.
an in-game engine pan through.
But it was obviously a choreographed event. Like, it was choreographed animations within the in-game engine. Whether or not that'll actually translate to gameplay, we'll see. But I'm interested. I'm definitely intrigued because I liked it when he was. This is the kind of stuff I like.
This is the kind of shit I like because they're trying new things. You know, it's a single player game. Exactly. It's from the makers of Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So it looks like cartoon Assassin's Creed, basically, mixed with like I wouldn't say East, but mixed with like Ni no Kuni or something like that.
Well, yeah, because Assassin's Creed Odyssey put in mythical creatures so that and it sounds they said they wanted to they said they wanted to make this game for a while now. So it sounds like they kind of took that and they put it in Assassin's Creed because they couldn't make the game at that time, and now they actually can. So they're going to be just focusing completely on like fantasy RPG elements.
Yeah. So since we both watched that one, because I would give the PC conference probably a 7.7.
I don't like rating numbers. I just don't. I don't know why.
No, you don't know why?
Because you really can't compare these different.
Well, I'm talking about comparing it to the last year's conference. There's a few different factors. When I'm grading a conference, I'm grading what's Ubisoft conference from last year to this year, but also overall, did they show enough stuff to get you excited? You know, like Gods and Monsters, I'm excited for, but again, that's a game that I wish they did like a playthrough through. You know, because that's normally what they would have done at classic E3s is they would have announced a brand new game nobody's ever heard of that they didn't know was in development, and then they would show you a chunk of it, and then like a gameplay, and then you'd get really excited about it. But none of these developers did any of that stuff, and these publishers showed any of that stuff.
Well, because I thought it was pretty disappointing. Because they were tired of probably getting made fun of online, but from all of that,
Well,
even when
whose fault is that?
Anthem did it last. Remember, Anthem did it last with like people dropping in like, oh hey guys, what's up? We're playing a game. Oh man, you want to go do this with me?
Yeah, let's go.
We should go do this. All right, man. Yeah, I'm down. Like,
so
they tried to make it sound like it was two friends playing, and like nothing was wrong technically with the way it was written, but I guess it was just like you could tell that it was scripted. It was scripted to sound like so generic. Yeah.